If you see behind me, there's a Christmas tree, Galton wood there. The LaGrange Park Fire Department will be here to burn that Christmas tree down. A Christmas public service announcement for you, the viewer. The dangers of Christmas trees and electricity. How quickly they will go up. Stay tuned.
What we try and do every year is just talk a little bit about fire safety and a small demonstration. One of the things is with the holidays, obviously, some people use candles more often, some people have lights, trees, and people are usually a little more busy, sometimes really busy. They have a lot to do, so they don't think about fire safety things as much as they should on a regular basis. So we just want to remind everybody today a couple tips. The information we passed out, if you didn't get it, we'll give you, we still got more flyers. The first thing is obviously holiday decorating. Make sure that if you do decorate your house, that you use lights that are in good shape, that the cords aren't cut. If you're using extension cords, first of all, try not to, but if you're using extension cords, you don't want those that are frayed or broken, and don't pinch them with furniture or stick them behind something. Because what happens, just like your toaster, that's what happens with an extension cord. When it's hard to get the electricity through because you damage the cord, it heats it up. So sometimes, once in a while, there's fires like that. Be careful nailing things in so you don't go through the cord. A couple other things. Obviously, candles. Candles are used by a lot of people. Some people like them, some people don't. We get a lot of fires every year caused by candles, not necessarily in LaGrange Park, but all over the nation. Candles, if you don't ever want to walk away, you always want to use candles when where they're attended, and you want them on a nice sturdy platform. I've been to a number of fires in other communities where candles hold. In one case, the whole house burned down. By the time the person was in the basement, they had a candle too close to the roof. It was near a fireplace, and it burned the whole house down. They barely got out of the basement to get out. So be very careful with candles. Don't use them if you don't have to. If you use them, don't just leave them unattended. Don't spend time upstairs when they're burning downstairs. Keep things away from them. They do cause a lot of fires around Christmas and the holidays. Heating equipment, obviously it's getting colder today. It's been nice yesterday. It was cold earlier in the week. A lot of times people will use space heaters. The newer ones are pretty safe. Get ones that automatically turn off if they fall over. One of the other things is to be careful about is some space heaters use a lot of energy, and they're not supposed to be plugged in on an extension cord. So they recommend do not use an extension cord because it makes that cord overheat. If you do use an extension cord, make sure you read the instructions and that the cord's rated for that. We've actually had a fire where they think the space heater caused the fire because it was plugged in and turned on when the person wasn't thinking that it would be. It got cold and it was on an extension cord. But there was so much damage, it was hard to tell that was it, but that is really what they think happened. Obviously, if you have a fireplace, only burn paper in it. One of the things people do at the end of the year is they throw their trees in it. Hopefully you don't, because the tree creates a lot of heat. Same thing with wrapping paper that your fireplace or your chimney is not designed to handle. Especially if you have creosote or buildup in there, it'll start it on fire very easily. It's not made to burn wrapping paper or Christmas trees. If you have screens or glass, make sure obviously they stay closed. And obviously you know this, but this is a reminder for the holidays. Make sure you keep pillows and furniture and paper away from the front of the fireplace. Sometimes you're so busy, you're throwing stuff around, you're moving furniture to make room for the tree, and that happens. If you haven't done it, make sure your chimney and your fireplace has been checked by somebody to make sure there's no cracks and you don't have a lot of that buildup, because we do go to chimney fires almost every year, some type of chimney fire. Most importantly, before we talk about the tree, is three critical things. Number one, make sure that you have smoke detectors in your house. Obviously, we don't want you to have a fire. Our first thing is to prevent fires. Don't have a fire. We don't want you to have a fire. But if you do, you want to make sure you have smoke detectors on every level. And now that it's the holidays, if you don't check them regularly, check them. Make sure they're actually working. Again, we recommend one on every level of the house. And if you sleep with the door closed, they now recommend them in bedrooms. They're $5 for a very inexpensive one. I've seen them for $4 something. So they're not expensive. That's not really cost prohibitive anymore. So number one, smoke detectors. Number two, make sure that the family knows how to get out of the house if there is a fire. Okay? Make sure when you're leaving the house that you leave first. Tell everybody there's a fire. Don't call the fire department from inside the house. You want to get out fast and get out quick. Don't take time. We tell the kids, don't go back in looking for your toys or your pets. Some people have done that and they've actually gotten hurt in fires because of that. So again, make sure you actually know how to get out, and if you can, try and practice that. The kids practice fire drills in schools. That's what they're awake, they're nice and orderly, they get out. But if you wake up in the middle of the night and there's smoke and it's dark and you've been sleeping, it's much different, and most people don't practice that. You should do that at least once a year. Make sure everybody knows how to get out of their room if they can't go to the door, what window to use, or what else they should do. And then obviously when you get outside, don't go back in. That's the third thing. Know where your family's going to meet and don't go back in. Okay? The last thing we're going to talk about before we do our demonstrations, Christmas trees. Obviously we recommend that you don't have a fresh cut tree or a live tree, but a lot of people like them. A lot of our firefighters like them. But if you have it and take care of it, it's not that dangerous. We've had demonstrations here where it was very hard to actually show how a tree burns, because it was too fresh and it was just freshly watered, or it had fire retardant on it. Some trees that come from other states, they actually spray something on them. Eventually, if you don't water, it'll still dry out and burn, but there are ways to prevent fires. If you have a fresh tree, it's not going to spread as fastly. The fire won't spread as fast, but when they're dried out, they spread it very fast. Okay? So again, make sure when you use a real tree, you water it all the time, you keep it fresh, you don't put it near heat. Definitely, I know in some other countries they still do it. They use real candles on it. Never do that. Make sure your lights aren't real hot. If you can, I know it's hard in everybody's house. Everybody has a different place. Don't put it right by the way out of the door, because there's fire or trees, if they do get dry and burnt, they move very quickly. The fire spreads quickly. And it really doesn't give you a lot of time to get out or get by the tree if it's on fire. It creates a lot of heat. Again, when you're done with the tree, hopefully it's in good shape. Get rid of it as soon as you can after Christmas. If it's drying out, get rid of it before you plant, and then don't burn it in your fireplace. Again, there's some programs, I think, in all the communities around here where you can put it out and they'll take your tree. Anybody have any questions before we get going here? Okay. Is everyone going to go home and check their smoke detectors? Make sure, at least if nothing else, it'll wake you up and get you out, right?
Yes.
All right. That's all we ask. Just take action. Think about it during the holidays. What we're going to do now is actually we're going to see if our tree burns. Every year we get it at a different time. But we're going to show you that if you do have a problem with the candle, we're actually using a candle to start the fire. If you have a problem where someone puts the candle too close, or you have an electrical problem that causes the tree to catch fire, sometimes the tree burns very fast, and that's what we're going to try and demonstrate. We'll see how it goes today. But there are also, if you go to UL, Underwriters Laboratories, and some other websites, sometimes they'll post videos during the holidays of demonstrations they've done in testing with Christmas trees. So you should look at those if you're, obviously I'm sure you have better things to do, but it'll show you how bad a Christmas tree fire can actually be. This one's a little different. It's outside. If it does burn, or when it does burn, don't forget in your house that smoke in the fire is not going up into the air. It's going down your hallways, across your living room, and eventually it's going to damage your house and block your way out. Okay? So again, we started a fire in the present below there, and you'll see, depending how dry the tree is, how quick the fire will burn. This tree does look like it's in pretty good shape, but again, as the tree dries out, it gets worse and worse, and the fire spreads quicker. So again, it's probably only been about 30 seconds since he actually got the fire going, and you'll see how fast the fire spreads. You want to get out of your house. It's very important to move quickly.
Get out of your house. But you're going to stand around and watch.
Actually, that tree's burning pretty slow. It's in pretty good shape. But again, all this smoke that you smell, that's going down your hallway, that's going through your house, and that's going to keep you, it's going to make it hard for you to get out, so don't forget about that. We'll give it a second because it looks like it's still burning below, but sometimes when it's really dry, it'll burn very quickly. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, the present's burning.
We're going to push that present a little further in. We only had the tree a little over a week and a half, and we haven't actually been watering it. We thought it would burn quicker.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
And again, once the tree's dried out, that's usually how quick it's going to burn, and it's only been a few minutes. So it usually doesn't put itself out by burning the green needle. But you can almost feel the heat, and again, that would be inside your house if your tree catches fire. You guys okay? You can back up if the smoke's bothering you. Okay. All right. So again, what we want to say is keep your Christmas tree somewhat damp. Always water it. Like this one was pretty well taken care of. But most importantly, practice fire safety and make sure your smoke detectors work. Okay. We appreciate you coming outside in the cold and coming today, and have fun. Have a good holiday.
Thank you.
Wait, Dad. So when I want to see it.
You want to watch it?
Maybe I can try the ground tree. Yeah, next year we'll try something better. Yeah, we don't like faking it because you know it's the risk you always take.
No.
All right. Ready?
Yeah, that's all right. It happens sometimes.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Well,
Okay, let's go. I'm cold. He's gonna have to relight it.
well, we don't have to keep going. We tried.
What? Yeah, okay.
See how quick we burns? That's not good.
Well, this is the best case scenario. This is what you hope for.
Puts itself out?
Yes.
Well, it seems to be the deal lately.
You're right.
Well,
I think I'm gonna get a real tree this year. I mean, if this is the worst it does, I'm all right with that.
right, me too. This is a great thing.